Today's spacewalk began at 7:29 Central Time this morning as the crew members put their suits onto internal battery power. Sonny Williams, the first out the hatch at 7:36. And Aki Hoshide expected to make his exit from the space station momentarily.
Nice, some jumpers.
You have reached the right place. Congratulations. Hey, Sonny, there is a sharp edge hazard on the outboard MT rail. We showed you pictures before. That's that attachment lug, and it's near handrail 5333. And now that you're at the jumpers, you can give us a brief visual inspection and commentary. Brief is good, and notify us if there's anything that jumps out to you as anomalous.
Stand by.
And now a good view of Sonny Williams out on the P6 truss, in between the two solar array wings that are on the P4, and the ones beyond the two solar array wings anchored to the P6 truss. Camera on the starboard side of the truss now panning back over, looking inboard and beyond the body of the space station. We can see Hoshide translating out on the port side of the truss.
No, I think we had it between those two handrails, but whatever works for you for the work site, Sonny.
Roll it forward a little bit more. And move the spit a little out.
Sonny Williams and Aki Hoshide work to install the spool positioning device on the M9 jumper. Once this particular task is completed, both of the crew members will leave the jumper reconfiguration temporarily and move on to the fluid quick disconnect coupling demating, the task which will cut off the ammonia flow to and from the photovoltaic radiator.
Release.
That's right. PGT goes back to Aki. Sonny, you're going to remove the cover carefully and restrain it on the nadir side with a ret to handrail 5340.
Come on. I see that this is tethered. Yeah, I see that too.
Yes, there is a tether on the nadir side.
Like maybe the top one there? Please don't.
Okay, guys, we are so back with you, and we saw that you were on boat H18, and it will be 7 turns only with all the pre-brief actions, and we'll have after you do those 7 turns, we'll be waiting for 1 minute with a timer down here to make sure that there's no leak.
Okay, Alpha 7, counterclockwise 1.
That is correct. Alpha 7, counterclockwise 1, 7 turns only. You have a go.
I'm straight, right?
Yes, you are. Motion.
Count 1. 2.
Pistol grip tool is in motion. 2 turns completed out of the 7. 3 turns of the 7 that it will take to demate this coupling and close the valve.
4. 5. Ammonia.
A little bit.
6. 7.
Stop. Some flakes, but a little bit.
So on here it says torque 9.2.
Copy 7 turns and 9.2 on the torque, and we copy a few, maybe 3 small ammonia flakes. We have a timer started down here.
Yeah.
At this point, the crew members have successfully demated the PVR's fluid quick disconnect coupling to shut down the flow of ammonia from the 2B thermal control system through that PVR.
Green light. Good job, guys. This was one of our major accomplishments that we wanted to get done today. So good work. We're going to get glove checks from you guys, and then we will. Aki, you can temp stow your the PGT on handrail 5334, and you both give us a glove check. And while you're doing that big picture, Sonny, you're going to go back to EAS jumpers, and Aki-san, we're going to have you go to the ticker shroud removal.
Okay, copy.
Just get it off. Yeah. Jump. Folks there.
Down in that lower portion of this view from Williams' helmet camera, she's attaching this quick disconnect tool to assist her in removing the QD and the extender from the M9 socket.
Here we go. Good job.
There you go. Okay, it's released.
All right, we see that. Good job on the tools, and thanks for the suggestions, guys. You're really making this work great. Check that the forward white band not visible, Sonny, after you give Aki the horseshoe back.
And my crew up back.
Hoshide has been working nearby where Sonny Williams is working. He has pulled a thermal shroud back off of the ticker, the trailing thermal control radiator, and is in the process of securing that now on the inboard side of the ticker, making sure that it's out of the way for that radiator to be deployed. The EVA team here in Houston has been looking at the issue with the SPD attachments since Williams had the first difficulty with it a couple of hours ago. They developed this other plan essentially to wire tie it in place, and brought a mock-up of that hardware here into the control room, which you see now on the EVA console, so that they could demonstrate it for Mike Fink, an experienced spacewalker who's worked in this area. He and astronaut Drew Feustel actually were the crewmates who developed the procedures for today's spacewalk in the neutral buoyancy laboratory over the course of the last few weeks. They were able to demonstrate it for him so that he could then relay it to Sonny Williams with the as an experienced spacewalker with experience at that same location.
All right, so Aki, from your side, it looks like we got a go from you that everything is clear and ready to go. Then once we hear the same from Sonny, we're going to give you a brief and for the ground control team here, and then we're almost to the pay time here.
Aki Hoshide is now maneuvering to get himself into a better position to provide mission control with the view of the deployment. He and Sonny Williams both positioned to make sure that they can see around all the sides of the radiator to make sure that there's nothing that will move in the way to interfere with the deployment.
I'm ready as well.
All right, I hear 2 goes from the EV crew flight. Stand by for deploy.
Flight Director Mike Lammers has given the Spartan officer, Anthony Vareja, the go to deploy the ticker.
And guys, we're sending the last command as we speak.
I see motion.
I see motion.
Copy motion.
Clear on these 2 sides.
Oh, clear on my side too. Oh, it's pretty fast.
(12:34) Central Time. The trailing thermal control radiator on the International Space Station's P6 truss is deploying. The 2B power channel's thermal control system had already been put back into operation and was operating according to Hoyle. This deployment take roughly 10 minutes to complete, and this radiator, which was used for the first 7 years that it was on orbit, will be operating again. This view back in the center portion of the truss, the ticker as it deploys, you can be seen on the right side. The two radiators that we see deployed on the left side.
From down here also, you guys just stay in position and help monitor. And when we're all said and done and everything's good, we'll start taking pictures and have more words for you. But in the meantime, we're basking in the moment.
Those two radiators that you see on the left, the one closest to the camera is the PVR on the P4 truss element, and the one furthest from us is the PVR on the P6. That's the radiator that the crew members took out of the 2B power channel loop during today's spacewalk. It is still deployed because it is still working, providing cooling for the systems on the 4B power channel. That's the other solar array wing and associated equipment that are also resident on the P6 truss, on the opposite side of the P6 truss from the 2B power channel. The ticker, the trailing thermal control radiator, now being deployed in the right side of our current view. It will service the 2B power channel. The point of today's spacewalk to take that PVR out of the loop to isolate it from the system is so that in the weeks...
Situational awareness, we're about halfway there, and it's looking good so far.
Great.
Over the coming weeks, perhaps months, Mission Control in Houston will now be able to monitor the leak rate from the 2B's thermal control system and see whether or not it has changed from the leak rate that has been observed since it was first observed back in 2007. In June of this year, the leak rate accelerated quite a bit. We're looking to find out whether or not it's changed. If, for example, the leak is stopped, and it would indicate that the source of the leak was in the radiator, and we can proceed accordingly. If the leak rate is unchanged, it would indicate that the radiator was not the source of any of the leak, and again, to proceed accordingly with further troubleshooting steps to identify the source of the leak. But with the deployment of the ticker, as we're watching now, and the reconfiguration of the jumpers, as was the remaining tasks of today's spacewalk, the 2B's photovoltaic thermal control system will continue to operate as it normally does and provide cooling to all of the components of the 2B power channel while the team here in Houston continues its work to find the source of the ammonia leak.
And we're over the central part of North America, right near the Canadian border right now. You guys are lucky to have that view.
Exactly. Beautiful.
And Sunny and Aki, our heartfelt congratulations to you and the entire team. We've accomplished just about everything we set out to do today. It's about 5 hours and 12 minutes. It seems like 5 minutes, but 5 hours and 12 minutes into the EVA. We're going to have you guys go out and work that missing SPID problem, and we'll go solve that. We have a few things for you before we do that, but that's a big picture. Do you have any questions?
Sounds good, and a big, huge congratulations to you guys on the ground for putting this together. Nice to see it deployed again.
Yeah, we got smiles all around.
Nice job.